Guys, welcome to the day 2 tutorial for the Node Express. So today we are going to cover three topics. First one is starting our API server. Second is creating a simple GET request. Third is just to use the Nodemon libraries and how to configure our Swagger documents. So, so let's get started. So this is where I ended up last in the last video, concept episode to express, and don't get surprised by looking into these commented code. I'll go through all the commented code. I'll uncomment them as the video processes. Okay, so as I mentioned, my first point is starting my API server. So if you see on the line number 10, we have app.listen. It's going to listen to some port. So when I start my this project, I'll do npm start and it's start my project. So and it have to listen to some port, right? So app.listen port, and others it takes two parameters. One is the port number. Second is a callback function. You can specify this, and so to if you want to do any perform uh, a function or something, you can just add the second parameter. So as of now, I'm just logging it out as an API server stated port this and has specified default port as 5007. So it's going to listen to this particular port. Okay, so I'll do npm start. It shows me an error. Um, the error is Nodemon is not recognized. So I got it because I have to remove the Nodemon here. I'll come to that. I clear it out and I do an npm start. So if you see my API server is started at 5007. So if I go to my browser and I type 5007, you see it started, but it cannot able to find any endpoint. So it says there's no endpoint being defined. So I have to define it. So I'll go to my app.js pack, and so it says cannot get this endpoint. So I'll define this here. So 5007, it's this one. So localhost 5007 is the by default this thing when you start your server. So I'll save it and I control C Y. I can start it. Now I think its error will not come. It says yes, your this thing is up and you defined your by default welcome to Node Express tutorials. So this is how you can start your API servers. Now I'll come to the Nodemon and the creating your Swagger UI documents. So Nodemon is actually a node monitor. So if you see right now, when I make any changes, I have to cancel and start my API server again so that the latest changes can be applied and can be browsed and can the latest change can be seen up here. So in order to again stop and start, I'll use the Nodemon library so that I don't have to um, start it again and again. And I'll also install the Swagger UI Express library as well, so that I can cover the Swagger documents as well. So let me do that quickly. So I'll do npm oops install Nodemon. Also do Swagger UI Express. Let me copy it here. From here. So it will create an entry into a package.json. In my dependencies, yes, it created and these libraries are being installed into the node modules. Okay, so one more thing to if you see right now when I do an npm start, it goes here and do a node app and it calls it app.js and it start my API server. So in order to I don't have to stop and restart it again, I'll just put it normal and I'll save it. If I do an npm start now, you see it says watching extension JS, MJS, and JSON. So any changes which I make to any of these files, it automatically apply those changes. I don't have to stop and start it, and it will work. So suppose I'll put oops, put hello, welcome to Node.js tutorial. I save it. If you see the price changes, and if I go here and my changes are applied. So this is just for the development purpose, so that it becomes easy for developer not to have to start and stop, and your latest changes are applied. So this is related to the Nodemon. Now, I'll cover the Swagger UI and docs. If you have seen in the Explorer, I have already created a Swagger.json, which should be served as a document to us. Or suppose if I'm a developer, I've created many APIs, and if someone asks me, okay, can you give me the list of the endpoints that you have created? I don't have to specify a list. I'll just give the Swagger document list so that he can look into all the endpoints which are available, and he can consume into his application. Okay, so that's fair enough. Swagger docs is very important piece for me when creating a project at the initial stage, so that I don't have to create it at last. I can specify it. I can keep on updating my Swagger as I created more endpoints. So. So in order to use the Swagger docs, if you have seen, I've already installed Swagger UI Express. So I'll consume the Swagger UI Express. I'll also take this Swagger.json. I'll explain this soon. And then I'll create a one base path. Base path is nothing. Suppose if I'm creating a endpoint on employee, suppose get employee data, get employee by employee ID, or create an employee, or delete an employee. So everything I'm doing on the employees portal or a module, right? So that's the reason I created this as a base path. So every endpoint that I'm going to serve is going to start with this, so that we know that it belongs to an employee module. So that is going to create a base path, and then I'm going to use this base path to serve my Swagger document. Okay, so I'll save this, and if I go to the UI, copy this and paste it here, and then I'll specify as API docs and press enter. Excellent. So if you see, my Swagger docs which I've created in the swagger.json is being served into the browser. Node Express for beginners, servers that I'm going to use, the ports and everything. And if I've also created an endpoint get employees, and if I go here and if I try it out, it going to throw me an error that's not found. I think yes, cannot get because I have not created this endpoint. Okay, so let me go and create this endpoint. So I have already created this. So if you have also observed that I've created one data file folder and data.js. I've created a list of employees, name John Cena, employee ID, wrestler, Virat Kohli, designation as a cricketer, though he's a god of cricket now, and Cristiano Ronaldo, footballer, amazing skill set. So I just created it a list of employees. So I'm going to use this data. So again, it's a get request. I want the list of employees. So I app.get, I specify the URL, get employees. My endpoint will be get employees, API slash employees slash get employees. And it's again taking two parameters in a callback, request and response, and is sending as a response the data which I have imported. So let me implement this up. Save this, and if I go to the UI and now I execute this, my data is being served. So guys, so in the day two, I'm going to end up this video now. So we have covered how we start the API server, a simple GET request, node mode, and how we configure our Swagger docs. Thanks a lot for your time. Have a nice day.